It looks to be happening. New merchandise and big promotion is planned for Randy Orton's WWE return, with it likely to be taking place at Survivor Series in Chicago, Illinois, or the weekend of. Also, it's now confirmed and official at Crown Jewel. The main event will be Roman Reigns defending the undisputed WWE Universal Championship against none other than LA Knight, after WWE has confirmed the match is indeed taking place. Emanuel, an update on his plans for Vince McMahon now that McMahon is no longer involved in creative for WWE. New tag team title bout designs have been created and have been tested backstage at a recent WWE show. An update on The Rock status for WrestleMania 40. What is the latest with Matt Riddle's WWE non-compete clause? AEW is reportedly very happy with Mystico after his debut led to several tickets being sold for the recent Dynamite taping in Texas. Rhea Ripley, some said that she was going to be headlining Elimination Chamber next year in Australia. That might not be the case, and we'll let you know why. Nick Wayne, an update on him after he seemingly lost a tooth on AEW Dynamite this week. And could we see in the future Declan McMahon competing inside of a WWE ring? Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off talking about the Viper Randy Orton, the Apex Predator, as he nears a WWE return. WWE and Randy Orton are gearing up for his return after being sidelined for almost 18 months. The former WWE champion is pushing forward with his wrestling career despite doctors telling him not to do so after going lower back fusion surgery. As I mentioned, the Viper Randy Orton has been sidelined since last May, that being May 2022, and underwent fusion back surgery late last year. Orton has resumed lifting, but not bumping inside of a WWE ring, at least that was the latest reports. The former WWE champion, though, was spotted at the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida last month, indicating he was getting closer to returning. Now, as reported previously, WWE has been planning to have Randy Orton back by Survivor Series on Saturday, November 25th from Chicago, Illinois, at the All-State Arena. Now, WrestleVotes has dropped a new report that WWE has approved new Randy Orton merchandise and branding ahead of his return, which likely will take place in late November. This is the tweet that WrestleVotes has posted in the last few minutes, saying, quote, regarding the Randy Orton return rumors, source states new merchandise and branding has been approved. Also, WWE will present a large social media promotion / digital material for the comeback. It indeed is happening, likely at Survivor Series or during that weekend. So what do you think the plans will be for Randy Orton now that he's coming back to WWE TV? Who would you like to see him face off against? Who would you like to see his big opponent be? Let me know your thoughts and predictions, as always, in the comments section below. Now, the other big developing and breaking news is regarding the main event of WWE Crown Jewel. It was speculated on by Dave Meltzer in today's Wrestling Observer newsletter, and it has now been confirmed by WWE. You could have watched SmackDown last week and realized that they were going in this direction, quite frankly, but indeed it has been confirmed. Roman Reigns will be defending the undisputed WWE Universal Championship against none other than LA Knight. The LA Times were the first to break this story, writing that a little over a year ago, LA Knight was a WWE superstar, but he wasn't drawing a lot of notice. Actually, it might be more fair to say that Max Dupree was a WWE superstar, but wasn't drawing a lot of notice. Most of his segments, which involved his Maximum Male Models stable of wrestlers, drew zero to no buzz, like someone unplugged the crowd. Then Max Dupree was no more. LA Knight beat up the Maximum Male Models and announced he was no longer Dupree, he was LA Knight. And with that, a star was born, finally unleashed on the microphone, where he has few peers. Knight electrified the crowd, who quickly began repeating his LA Knight yeah catchphrase as well. He moved into the top 3 in WWE merchandise sales. You can hear people chant yeah during other matches. While he was booked to lose almost all the time, the crowd did indeed remain behind him. And now his reward is now here. Knight will compete against Roman Reigns for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship at the Crown Jewel Premium Live event in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia on November 4. A source not authorized to speak publicly about the matchup exclusively told the LA Times the event will air on Peacock during that date as well. But WWE has now confirmed it as well. When they have these stories, it's WWE telling the LA Times to report the news. Nevertheless, it has been confirmed. It's one of 3 matches that have been announced for the show thus far. Other matches for the show include Seth freaking Rollins defending the heavyweight title against Drew McIntyre, and Rhea Ripley defending the Women's World Championship in a fatal 5-way against Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, and Raquel Rodriguez. What are your thoughts on this one, and what are your thoughts on LA Knight challenging Roman Reigns for the title? Let me know your thoughts and reaction to that in the comment section below. Now, let's talk about Ari Emanuel's plans for Vince McMahon now that McMahon is not involved in creative. Now, Endeavor CEO Ari Emanuel's plans for Vince McMahon after removing him from the WWE creative process have potentially been revealed. Following reports that Triple H has taken over 99.9% of the company's creative reins, it was reported that Endeavor CEO Ari Emanuel was behind this change. Per Dave Meltzer in the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, a source close to the situation noted that Emanuel's vision for McMahon's role in the company is to utilize his, quote, worldwide notoriety, noting that Emanuel doesn't plan for McMahon to be making creative edits to the WWE product. Meltzer writes, quote, one person close to the situation said that Emanuel has a vision for how he can use the worldwide notoriety of McMahon, and that vision doesn't include him micromanaging the weekly television shows. Meltzer also explained that McMahon's changes did get in the way of the long-term vision and long-term creative team at time, despite his alterations sometimes being for the better. We'll get into that in just a second, because as I mentioned, Triple H is now firmly back in control of creative, with Vince McMahon no longer making those edits to weekly television shows like he was doing for Raw and SmackDown after his return to the company earlier this year in January. And reportedly, WWE stars were loyal to Paul Levesque, Triple H, whilst Vince McMahon was making these aforementioned late changes to the televised product. Of course, this comes in the wake of reports that Endeavor CEO Ari Emanuel has removed McMahon from the creative process and given Levesque full creative control. Writing in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer has revealed the impact that McMahon's involvement had on the WWE creative, stating, quote, from those with knowledge of the creative situation, prior to the merger going through and McMahon taking a medical leave, he was making changes in the shows, particularly Raw, fairly regularly. At times, they were viewed as positive, and at times they were not. But they did get in the way of the long-term vision and the long-term creative team. Much of the talent, certainly most of whom we've heard from, felt it was better when McMahon wasn't involved and were loyal to Levesque. As I mentioned, it's been recently reported that Paul Levesque has 99.9% control when it comes to WWE creative, and the belief is that McMahon will focus on other areas such as media rights deals. What are your thoughts on the latest developments when it comes to this, and what do you think Ari Emanuel's plans could be to utilize this worldwide notoriety? Could we see more of Vince McMahon in interviews, which we don't really see that much nowadays? Let me know your thoughts on all of it in the comment section below. Now, we could be set to see new Tag Team Championship bout designs very, very soon. Of course, this comes after we saw an undisputed WWE Tag Team title change this past Monday night on Raw, and WWE could be introducing new Tag Team title bouts, having recently, quote, photo and video tested the design at a recent show. The current Raw and SmackDown Tag Team title bouts have been used since the brand split back in 2016. Until then, since 2010, the same design was used, but just with one set of bouts with a black strap and gold plates. The current WWE Tag Team Champions are the Judgment Day's Finn Balor and Damian Priest, who brought Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso's reign to an end after just 9 days. Rhodes and Uso won the championship at WWE Fastlane on October 7, with the Judgment Day recapturing the title bouts on the season premiere of Monday Night Raw on October 16, that being this past Monday. It was at that episode of Raw that Cultaholic is reporting that new bouts were photo and video tested. According to Cultaholic's report, quote, a source within WWE has revealed to Cultaholic Wrestling that possible new tag team title bout designs were photo and video tested during rehearsals ahead of the October 16 episode of Monday Night Raw in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. The rehearsal was a title bout reveal over the course of 30 minutes. The titles were on a table in the middle of the ring, with a production assistant removing the cloth to reveal them. As for the design itself, it's yet to be publicly revealed, either officially or unofficially, with Cultaholic going on to reveal, quote, 2 possible sets of new tag team title bouts with radically different designs were tested. One set of bouts was all gold with black straps. The other set was screen tested featured a gold and silver design with one red and one blue strap. Now, the report notes that the designs were in the early stages of final approval with no information on how or when they will be introduced. So when do you think we could possibly see these new tag team title designs? What do you think it will mean when it comes to the tag team championships in WWE? Are we just going to see what we've kind of seen now, whereby the tag team champions can appear on both shows, but it's not really referred to as undisputed tag team champions? Let me know your thoughts about that too in the comment section below, as always. Now, a bit of an update when it comes to the Great One possibly appearing in Philadelphia next year for WrestleMania 40. It was reported in late 2021 and also into 2022 that WWE had Hollywood star The Rock penciled in to headline the April 2023 WrestleMania 39 event, provided that The Rock was able to train for an in-ring return with his busy schedule. Of course, this bout ultimately didn't happen. It was reported back in February of this year that The Rock felt like he didn't have enough time to get in good ring shape ahead of the show of shows. Now, with WrestleMania 40 just around the corner, obviously being in April of next year, and Roman Reigns still holding WWE's top championship, many fans have speculated about the possibility of this dream match taking place at the April 2024 show. Per Dave Meltzer, in the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, WWE has not scheduled the match and isn't operating under the idea that it indeed will happen, noting that regardless, WWE has no plans for The Rock to defeat Roman Reigns for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. Meltzer writes, quotes, "Regarding the stories that WWE won't do Rock versus Reigns at Mania if Rock wants to do it, what we were told is this: if he wants the spot, I can't believe WWE would turn him down, but after Johnson turned it down last year, nobody is going with the idea he's going to do it this year. The match is not scheduled, unlike at this time last year when the match was considered a good shot. The belief is that Johnson will have plenty of work once the strikes are over and he'll have plenty to do. What we were told is that The Rock is not going to come back and win the title. I'd never anticipate that would be an issue if the match was to happen. I always figured Reigns to win and The Rock then retiring in the ring." So as of right now, there are no plans. It's not scheduled. Of course, if The Rock was to request and be open to the idea, maybe that could change. But as of right now, he's not scheduled for a match against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania next year. Now, let's talk about Matt Riddle and his post-WWE plans. Matt Riddle was released from his WWE contract on September 22nd, 2023, and the extent of his non-compete clause has now been revealed. As previously reported, Riddle's release came after a tenure with the company that was tainted by a number of issues. Booker T and others would speak on the subject, noting that you can get away with this kind of stuff only for so long before you become a liability. With previous reports that the PFL and bare knuckle fighting are both interested in using Riddle, and the report of preliminary talks between ex-WWE star and Jake Paul possibly being interested in some kind of bouts, further details on Riddle's WWE contract have now emerged. Dave Meltzer addressed the non-compete aspect of Riddle's contract in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, writing, quote, "Regarding Matt Riddle, his people have already been in talks with a number of pro wrestling, MMA, and boxing companies regarding working there. The only two that have come out are PFL and bare knuckle boxing. Nothing can be announced until December when his non-compete ends, and yes, his non-compete does extend to MMA and boxing." Now, the PFL is the Professional Fighters League, a mixed martial arts organization based in the United States. It was recently reported that Impact Wrestling were interested in a number of WWE stars that were released, including the likes of Riddle. Riddle has recently filed to trademark an application for his King of Bros nickname. So, of course, if we get any more information about Matt Riddle and his post-WWE plans, we'll let you know in future videos. Now, AEW is reportedly very happy with Mystico when it comes to the tickets that were sold ahead of his debut match. Obviously, that's going to be airing tonight on Rampage, but was actually taped this past Wednesday during the Dynamite tapings. For the former WWE star, where he performed as the original Sin Cara, will make his AEW debut as the CMLL World Historic Middleweight Champion, going up against the CMLL World Historic Welterweight Champion, Rocky Romero. Previously, it was reported that the match would be an authentic Arena Mexico match. The announcement of Mystico's match had a positive impact on AEW Dynamite ticket sales, according to Fightful Select. This also led to positivity behind the scenes in AEW, with it being reported that, quote, "AEW sources we spoke to were very happy with Mystico's appearance and gave him some credit for helping move AEW Dynamite tickets." Now, Tony Khan has actually addressed this new relationship that AEW have had with CMLL. Tony Khan has expressed his thanks to the company on social media, posting, quote, "Thank you, CMLL and Mr. Salvador LaRuth. It was an honor to host you at AEW, and I'm very excited about CMLL and AEW working together, and excited for a great weekend of AEW starting tomorrow with Mystico versus Rocky Romero, CMLL pound for pound crown, and on AEW Rampage on TNT." Now, his post came as a reply to a statement about the partnership partnership from CMLL, which was translated by Fightful, reading, quote, CMLL gives our sincerest thanks to Tony Khan and AEW for the attention given to our talent and our general director, Salvador LaRuth, in the tapings for AEW Rampage that took place yesterday in Rosenberg, Texas. We wish to reiterate firmly that the collaboration between CMLL and AEW will be fruitful and beneficial to both parties, and that it will be the start of a solid relationship. The opportunity to show our talent on an international stage like AEW Rampage has been an honor and a privilege for us. We are grateful for the welcoming reception that the AEW fans gave during the one-on-one bout that Mystico and Rocky Romero had, which will be aired on the October 20 on TNT for Rampage. So seemingly everyone is very happy with what's happened thus far between the relationship between AEW and CMLL. Now, there was a story, and it was actually a news report coming out of Australia, that Rhea Ripley was going to headline the Elimination Chamber Premium Live events in Perth next year. WWE is set to return to Australia for the first time in over 4 years next February, when the Elimination Chamber Premium Live event emanates from the Optus Stadium in Perth. The company has not hosted an event in the country since October 2019, and its last pay-per-view in the country, Super Showdown, was held the year prior, headlined by The Undertaker and Triple H in what would be their final match together before both men's in-ring retirements a few years later. Now, speculation had emerged a couple of days ago when 7 News Adelaide aired an exclusive interview with Rhea Ripley in which it was stated she will, quote, headline Elimination Chamber. This was also mentioned in the outlet's social media post of the segment, which explicitly states Ripley will, quote, headline the WWE's first main event in Australia since 2018. As a result, many took this to mean that the Women's World Champion will compete in the main event of the Premium Live event next year. However, it doesn't look like that in fact is the case as of right now anyway. House of Wrestling are reported they spoke to a WWE source about the speculation, who stated that, quote, Rhea Ripley will be on the show and creative will dictate the match and match position, end quote. They also added that this is a case of local news doing what they do, but all good. This seems to be a similar situation to the Western Australian reporting previously that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson could wrestle at the event. A senior member of WWE PR subsequently told several media outlets that it was a case of tabloids being tabloids. House of Wrestling also reported that they were also told that internally, Ripley is getting praise for the amount of promotion she is doing for the show. Aside from her interview with 7 News Adelaide, she's also spoken to other Australian outlets like Sports News Australia and The Advertiser in recent days as well. So look, she certainly could headline the show, but as of right now, those plans are quite far off. Bad Bunny, an update on Bad Bunny. Could he be at WrestleMania 40 next year? Well, there's been an update on the possibility of Bad Bunny appearing at WrestleMania 40 in April 2024. After the artist announced his tour dates. The multi-award-winning singer and rapper announced his Most Wanted tour just 6 days after the release of his latest album. The Most Wanted tour will run from February 21st to May 26th, though the publicity does say that more dates will be added. This period obviously includes WrestleMania 40, which takes place on April 6 and April 7, 2024 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. While Bad Bunny will be performing in Detroit, Michigan on April 6, his next show is April 9 in Washington, D.C., meaning that he is free on April 7 and April 8. This does make him available for night 2 of WrestleMania 40 should he want to make the trip to Lincoln Financial Field Stadium. Bad Bunny last appeared inside of a WWE ring at Backlash in Puerto Rico on May 6, 2023, where he defeated Damian Priest. So would you like to see Bad Bunny compete at WrestleMania next year? Could he do what he did last year, or this year rather, at WrestleMania, where he just appeared on commentary for a match that set up a match further down the line? Let me know your thoughts and predictions about that. Now, a bit of an update on Nick Wayne. Some people were wondering about the status of him after he seemingly suffered a bit of an injury on AEW Dynamite this week. Dynamite saw one star injured on television with some speculation that he maybe lost a tooth, and an update has now emerged on this. After a spicy exchange between Nick Wayne and his mother that was moderated by Jim Ross, and that went awry when Christian Cage showed up, the altercation didn't end there. Nick Wayne would go on to brawl with Darby Allin, and after taking a bit of a nasty spill onto the concrete, left him bleeding from the mouth. However, a new report from Fightful Select has clarified the status of the injury, or more specifically, Nick Wayne's tooth. The report states that Wayne was in fact legitimately busted open and was supposed to get his tooth fixed yesterday. Of course, we wish him the best in his recovery. Seemingly he won't miss too much time though, as his tooth seemingly must be already fixed. Finally, an update on Declan McMahon. Could we see another McMahon wrestle in WWE? Shane McMahon's son Declan McMahon has declared that he's never ruling out a possible in-ring run in WWE and following in his father and grandfather's footsteps. Speaking to Woo Online, Declan McMahon elaborated on his connection to WWE, saying, quote, "I was born into the business. Being a champion isn't something that is just displayed by having the bout. It's something you have to live every day of your life. Whether it's your schoolwork, I'm an older brother to two younger brothers. Being an older brother and a great role model, you have to be a champion for them as well. It's being a champion for yourself every day, showing up every day and being consistent with that. The other meaning behind it is when you come up in this family business, you see it. When WrestleMania 32 came to AT&T Stadium and running out there with my dad, it was the coolest experience of my life, just to see 100,000 and a sold-out crowd cheering for something that is way bigger than yourself. It really gets it put into perspective of not only what it means to be a champion, but to be a superstar." When asked if he could see himself having a future inside of a WWE ring, Declan didn't rule it out, rather noting he thinks he would be pretty good at it. He said, quote, "I'm never ruling it out. I would love to get in the ring a couple of times, but you have to see if the opportunity presents itself. It's all about the story. We'll see. I think a lot of fans would get behind it if we ended up doing it. I think I would be pretty good at it. You never know, never ruling an option out. As for now, focusing on football and school, and we'll play it by ear." So, would you like to see Declan McMahon one day inside of a WWE ring? Let me know your thoughts about that too in the comment section below. But there you go, guys. It's the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.